Guests, sit please. May I request some of the panel speakers to come on the stage? I'll be calling your names out. First, may I request Mr. Amir Paracha, Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Amir, please take the stage. Thank you, Amir, taking out your valuable time. We do need foreign investors in this country, so you represent them. Is Asif Peer around from Systems Limited? Asif Peer, I think he is on the way. Sahar Amir Tarar, second passport, she is also on the way. Siddiqui Saab, Mr. Paragon, where are you, Babar? I just met you a minute ago. Please come to the stage. Ms. Mahin Rahman, CEO Infra Zameen Pakistan, and Mr. Shabbar Zaidi, I think he is also on his way. And Session Chair, Dr. Kamran Fazal. Where is Dr. Kamran Fazal? Okay. Okay, Dr. Kamran Fazal, where are you? I think this is the beauty of Karachi somehow, that we tend to come slightly later for whatever reasons, hold back at home, or the traffic issues, or late get up in the morning. Amir Saab and Babar, I think we'll just have to wait for a few more minutes. I think our guests are still, some are outside, some are on the way, and soon we will start the session. And where is Mr. Ijaz Nisar? Thank you, Dr. Kamran. I think since Dr. Kamran is here, who is the session chair for today's session, and since we've got two very powerful people up on the stage, so without wasting any further time, I'll hand over the podium to Dr. Kamran to please take care of the stage from here on. Muzaffar Saab, where are you? Muzaffar Saab, Muzaffar Paracha. Where is Muzaffar Paracha? Zubair Tufail Saab, sir, please. Zubair Saab, sir, WhatsApp बाद में कर लीजिएगा अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड को, आप अभी यहाँ आ जाएं.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, Jasab, for the invitation. I think without wasting time, I'll start introducing our guests. On my left, Mr. Amir Paracha. He's the CEO and President and the Chairman of Unilever. Today's subject is very close to my heart. And interestingly, I actually, while I was going through this whole experience, I wrote a few lines about the current situation. And it states, in the land of green and white, the struggle unfolds, a relentless fight. Against the chains of crisis untamed, economic woes, the nation remains unnamed. Amidst the field of golden grain lies a burden of heavy chain. Of agriculture too relied upon, diversification a distant song. So, Mr. Amir, I would like to start my conversation from you. Since you had one of the largest corporate in the country, and the current economic crisis and the current situation also involves a multinational as well. So I would like to take your feedback and your perspective on the current situation, and what do you think is the solution for the current scenario? Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me to this panel. मैं ख्याल में सुबह से आप लोग काफ़ी लोगों को सुन चुके होंगे ऑन इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन, और मेरे ख्याल में मेरे पास कोई नई चीज़ बताने की नहीं होगी, क्योंकि आजकल लोग काफ़ी अवेयर हैं कि कंट्री में सिचुएशन क्या है। आज आप सब्ज़ी वाले से जाके पूछें तो उसको पता होगा कि आज स्टेट बैंक का रिज़र्व कितना है। तो पैनल डिस्कशंस हो रहे हैं, मुख्तलिफ तजिया भी कर रहे हैं, मुख्तलिफ सोशल गैदरिंग्स के ऊपर कॉन्वर्सेशंस भी चल रही हैं। हाउ टू टैकल द करंट इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन, व्हाट इज़ द प्रॉब्लम एंड हाउ टू एड्रेस इट। Well, there are different views, and I think so there's no right or wrong view. But my personal view is, I think so, the past is behind us. What has happened has happened. Current account deficit है, या आपका balance of trade के अंदर problem आ रहे हैं, या आपके fiscal deficits हैं. If I were to look back and diagnose the problem, and then basically looking forward what needs to be corrected, I've always been a very strong believer that we need to change the metric of the success which we have been following for the last 75-40 years. And that is, we have been chasing GDP. कि हमें GDP growth चाहिए 5% की, 6% की, 8% की. GDP growth is a good metric, but not for the developing and emerging economies. It's a good metric for the developed economies. I think so the metric that we should have used, and if not, going forward we need to use, is a metric that is called HDI, which is called the Human Development Index, जो कि आपका practically social metric है, which UN actually introduced back in 1990. और अगर आप HDI को देखें, जो कि 3 चीज़ों के ऊपर होता है, health, education and per capita income. Right. हेल्थ के अंदर लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी क्या है, एजुकेशन के अंदर नंबर ऑफ ईयर्स स्कूल कितना है, और आपके पर कैपिटा इनकम क्या है। अगर इसके ऊपर देखा जाए तो 191 कंट्रीज़ की जो रैंकिंग है उसमें पाकिस्तान 161 के ऊपर है, और पिछली रैंकिंग के अगेंस्ट 7 पॉइंट्स फर्दर नीचे आ गया। इंटरेस्टिंग। बांग्लादेश इज एट 128. श्रीलंका, while they may have gone through a rough time, but in a social perspective, they are number 75 in the world. So Pakistan is the lowest on the South Asia. और सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम यह है कि हम लोगों ने कभी भी ह्यूमन कैपेसिटी या कैपेबिलिटी बिल्डिंग नहीं की, और उसका अक्स जो है वो आपको नज़र आता है, जो आपकी फिस्कल स्पेंडिंग है। अगर आप फिस्कल स्पेंडिंग को देखें तो 60% आपका जो फिस्कल बजट की जो यूटिलाइजेशन है, कंजम्पशन है, वो है डेट रीपेमेंट के ऊपर। अनदर 20% जो आपका फिस्कल स्पेंडिंग है वो मिलिट्री एंड डिफेंस है। फिर 10% जो है वो आपका है, रोड बना देते हैं, ब्रिजेस बना देते हैं, डैम्स बना देते हैं। एंड गेस हाउ मच वी स्पेंड ऑन हेल्थ एंड एजुकेशन? 2%. And no wonder, as a country, we are so low on the Human Development Index. और Human Development Index जब तक हमारा बेहतर नहीं होगा, as a country struggle, we will continue falling into this trap which we are today. And I think so going forward, someone need to rescript the whole story for the country, that how we need to improve the social fabric of this country, need to do capacity building, need to do capability building, need to spend the money where the mouth is, rather than 80% of the spend actually going behind जो इतना हमारा टैलेंट है, जो कि 220 मिलियन लोग हैं, उसके ऊपर तो हमने सिर्फ 2% लगाया, और रिजल्ट आज हमारे सामने।
True. So, Amir, carrying that forward, what do you see this your own organization's contribution towards this? What are the initiatives that you guys are taking in terms of developing the human capital? Because you're one of the leading corporate. What good initiatives has your organization taken for rest of the corporates to learn from? Any good initiative that you would like us to learn?
जी देखिए, मेरे ख्याल में जो प्रैक्टिकली आपकी जितना भी निचला तबका है, जो सोशियो इकोनॉमिक क्लास,
राइट,
वो बेचारों की सेल्फ डिग्निटी तो सब ख़त्म हो चुकी है। वो अपने पैसों से ना इलाज करा पाते हैं, ना अपने बच्चों को वो एजुकेशन दिला पा रहे हैं, तो फिर तमाम फेस्टीम जो पर्सनल है वो बिल्कुल डिस्ट्रॉय हो चुकी है. आई थिंक सो व्हाट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन शुड बी डूइंग इन देयर पर्सनल कैपेसिटीज, at least they should ensure that, you know, all the big organizations, I've seen a lot of sitting there, and they have people all the way from the white collar to the blue collar. They need to ensure that वो equality लेकर आएं in terms of the income they actually pay to them.
Right.
In terms of their policies, in terms of their framework, in terms of what kind of benefits they give it to them. And I know I have gotten a lot of flack in the past few months because I've started to talk about that the country need to move away from minimum wage to, you know, the fair living wage. And I'm saying यार minimum wage में गुजारा हो नहीं सकता. 25,000 रुपए के अंदर आजकल के basically हालात में किस तरह गुजारा होगा. और by the way, given the country has seen an inflation of 40%, आज का कल का 25,000 एक्चुअली आज का 18,000 रुपए है. 18,000 के अंदर कौन सी मखलूक यहाँ पे रहेगी जहाँ पे इन्फ्लेशन जो है वो 41% के ऊपर चल रही है. सो आई थिंक सो गुड थिंग इज रिजल्ट्स अभी तमाम कंपनियों के पब्लिश हुए हैं. बैंक्स हैव एक्चुअली रिकॉर्डेड record profits. So we have done record profits. Many organizations have done record profits. We need to go down, start sharing that prosperity with the larger people within the organization, and that's how you basically start running the circle of prosperity. So that's what I would suggest that the local organizations or international organizations should start doing, you know, in their personal capacities.
It's really amazing to hear this sort of perspective coming from the leadership of a leading organization in the country. And I think we all should learn and start developing our own decision making as CEOs in that direction. I would move forward to my next.
Hit rock bottom right now, but I believe we're going to get out of this mess, and inshallah when we do, we will prosper more than before. Indulged in human labor. बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं. The Human Development Index needs to be worked on, unfortunately, which मेरी industry में vocational schools, which I'm trying to work on right now, vocational training, we need to start developing skill sets. तो हमारी labor जो है, जो majority of our labor is agricultural labor, और हमारी construction में भी ज़्यादातर agricultural labor use होती है. Unfortunately, they're unskilled labor. The ratio of productivity of a labor outside of Pakistan to Pakistan is no less than 1 to 4 training institutes. So the construction industry, going back to your question, has taken a big hit. Any country across the globe, the key indicator for growth मुल्क जो है आगे बढ़ रहा है. Well structured to what's in place right now of businessmen who belong from every industry.
Absolutely.
Who hold expertise in their industry, and the government should take these businessmen on board and seek help from them.
True.
Okay? Where you know, we haven't done, quite frankly, we're not doing the right things. If you look at our neighbors, they're doing something right, right? Bangladesh and India, something is going right over there. So we need to focus on Pakistan, where Pakistanis, we have a lot of hope in this country, have professionals on board. I certainly can prosper, we can be on a road to prosperity, right? इस वक्त अगर आप मुझसे पूछो कि क्या होने जा रहा आगे, I can tell you, I don't know, right? The level was not represented there. We didn't have a pavilion there. Who would invest in Pakistan? FDI आएगा कहाँ से? हम अपना आपको promote ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. So we need to focus on, we need a long-term vision, right? We need to put our differences aside. Everyone needs to put their differences aside. We need to work on this broader model of what our vision is. And this vision needs to be sold to the rest of the countries in the world, because what don't we have? We have Gwadar, we have minerals, mines, we have agriculture, technology. The biggest tech, Asif Peer is here. We can tremendously take advantage of what we have. Countries strive for, we have all the ingredients to success. So countries strive for what we have. So we need to have a long-term vision. We need to promote our vision. We need to bring in FDI here. And we need to, Pakistan needs to change its image. So talking about construction, construction is, like I said, is heavily engaged in labor. Unfortunately, right now things are a little different.
There are a lot of questions coming on the real estate side and real estate product sales, which people are not realizing until 3 months to 6 months time. And I personally believe this is a big opportunity for people who are investors and buyers. I mean, it's a perspective that not a lot of people know. Right now, the pricing that we're looking at is something that we're not even able to accept because of the current crisis. But the moment crisis settles down, at some point, this correction of the cost has to come to the customer. Yeah. That angle has to be looked into as well. And that has to be told to the customer and the end user as well, because he needs to benefit from that today. Also, this is a small remedy that people can take in their own times. Also, I think I've been observing this is my third conference in the last 2 months, and I've realized that all the CEOs and all the corporate chairmen and all the directors have to gather together to create a power group that starts speaking as a committee to the government, because we're just making an opinion that does not create a force group towards the government. Ultimately, when we bring in policymakers, they only come here for a speech and they leave. We should make them sit down and talk to us like a policymaker, where there is serious change happening on ground. This sort of change will bring about the sort of leadership and vision that you require. And with this, I would like to move to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Zubair Tufail Saab. Zubair Tufail Saab is a renowned industrialist. He owns Tufail Industries. And I would like to understand what Tufail Saab's perspective is on the industrial side, because recently there have been some videos that have been circulating about the industrial people complaining about the current scenario of imports. So Zubair Saab, over to you. Thank you.
Yes, the industries are going through, I would say whole country is going through tough times. And especially the industries which are based on imported raw material, they are having very tough time, as they are facing difficulties to establish letters of credit for their raw materials, and so gradually their productions are going down. Right now, I would say that in Pakistan, we are at the bottom of the sea. We cannot go anywhere because we are already, but we have the possibility to come up again. And I would say that right now our currency is also at the moment is almost on free float. A few months back, Sri Lankan currency was 360 rupees, Sri Lankan rupees to $1. Mm. And today the Sri Lankan rupee is equal to 330 Sri Lankan to the $1. And if we do not take corrective measures, I am afraid maybe our rupee will meet Sri Lanka somewhere. But where? Let me explain you. Sri Lankan rupee can again come down to 300, and we can also go up from 280 to 300. This is the worst scenario. So we all have to try to enter into the export industries or set up new industries, try to make import substitution. Whoever industry is based on local raw materials, they will survive. But if they are based on imported raw material, they cannot, because we have certain difficulties. Our foreign exchange conditions are not so easy. Even including current year, the export earnings will be lower. Current year, the export earnings will be lower than $30 billion. And our imports are about $76 billion or more. So from where to overcome these 16 or $20 billion shortfall? The thing is, either he is hardly able to have current circumstances. Right. You see, the inflation is right now over 40%. It is same like Argentina has this about 30 years back. So we are also going through the same scenario. But I think all of us are responsible at the moment. $50 billion. They were stopped at the middle of the road. It has to continue, because you have already invested a lot of money, or you have taken loan, or the foreign countries, foreigners, the Chinese have invested their lot of money. We should help them, or we should support them, that their industries should run. If their industries are also stopped, then we will be suffering more. And the other thing is about the health and education, that we are paying in half or 1% increase in every year. And I don't say that it will continue like this for 10 years, but at least 0.5% every year, which means at least for next 5 years, you increase from 2% to 4.5%. Our population 95%. And Ours is much, much lower, maybe 30% or something like this. So we have to bring in the next workforce must be educated. Educated workforce will help you or help us to come out of the crisis. Level of exports and home remittance. You see, for these things we are suffering, we are begging to IMF, and it is almost everything is done. But in this week, IMF came with the idea of going to help Pakistan to the Pakistan economy, or they will remit so much amount of $5 billion till or in the end of June. So this is another thing, and I think government will again have to go to these countries and see that how we have to see that our friendly countries, I expect that they will be giving such letter, but it is not a very good feeling for them. That one thing they are helping, and second thing is that they also need, we also need a letter from them for presenting to the IMF. So these are the tough times and tough challenges we are facing and going through. And I would only say that all of us had to get together, sit and try to find the solutions from where we can come.
Of the industrial perspective, also in terms of education and healthcare. So, and
documentation. And we have to understand very clearly that in Pakistan, under a very concerted effort, we have been converting encouraging the undocumented sector against the documented sector. So if somebody feels that any one person or anything can change the Pakistan tax culture, then he concept of proper documentation, and then we will be able to do anything about taxation. I have been the advisors of many listed companies. The main problem was not the business in Pakistan. Their main problem has always been इसके लिए इसके बराबर में जो बंदा इम्पोर्टेड बेच रहा है, बेचारा बना रहा है, एक्साइज ड्यूटी दे रहा है, ये कर रहा है, वो कर रहा है, ये जलील हो गया, बेचारा, ठीक है ना, ये बेचारा तबाह हो गया. मतलब मुझे इसको नहीं जानता, पर इसके जो प्रीडेसेसर्स थे उनसे मेरी बड़ी लंबी लंबी मीटिंग्स होती, बस कट गया इम्पोर्ट, इस पर फाइनल खत्म. ये जो आपने बीमारी लोगों के दिमाग में डाली 1992 से, इसके डालने वाले कोई अफसरान नहीं थे, इसके डालने वाले कोई बिजनेसमैन नहीं थे, ये हमारे इंटेलेक्चुअल्स ने डाली. और हम उन इंटेलेक्चुअल्स को अकाउंट फॉर नहीं करते. हम उनसे ये नहीं पूछते आपने ये क्यों किया. दोनों ने मुझे कहा, तीनों ने मुझे कहा, जब मैं 2013 को अमेंड करने गया तो उस कमेटी में मैं भी था और खालिद अनवर साहब भी थे. उन्होंने कहा शब्बर ये डॉक्यूमेंट मैंने बनाया है, ये अमेंड नहीं होगा. मैंने कहा सर जब तक मैं जिंदा हूँ ज़रूर अमेंड होगा. और हुआ अमेंड. मैंने कहा सर मैं इसको अमेंड कराऊंगा, आप जो मर्जी कर लें, मैंने बनाया है, अमेंड नहीं होगा. मैंने कहा जी अब मेरा भी हुआ है कि ये ज़रूर अमेंड होगा. तो बात ये नहीं है, बड़े बड़े हमने बुत बना के रखे हुए हैं. इन बुतों को आइंदा दिनों में अगर आपने पाकिस्तान को चलाना है